The world wakes to a profound, almost sacred silence. The traffic lights of Manhattan blink pointlessly in the gloom, illuminating empty avenues where not a single car waits. London's Big Ben rings out the hour for no one. Pigeons occupy the spires of Notre Dame, their coos echoing through the empty nave. In Beijing, Tiananmen Square lies deserted, washed in the pale morning light, the only movement the flutter of banners in a stray breeze. The Eiffel Tower stands untouched, as if frozen in time, its iron latticework casting intricate shadows on the vacant Champ de Mars. Across the globe, stadium scoreboards still display yesterday's final scores, the seats now permanent homes for wind-blown leaves. In Tokyo, bullet trains idle in their stations, engines cold, their doors gaping open as though waiting for a rush of commuters who will never come. Without the constant thrum of human activity, cities feel less alive than ever before, yet paradoxically, a different kind of life stirs at the edges. Foxes dart cautiously through suburban gardens. Feral cats slink into newly silent plazas. The world's built marvels, for all their grandeur, suddenly feel as fragile as a sandcastle at high tide. The question now rises, as persistent as the dawn. What comes next, now that humans are gone? What would Earth look like without us? Scientists have pondered this scenario not just as idle speculation but as a means to better understand our impact. Ecologists, engineers, and climatologists join the conversation, pooling knowledge to create a detailed picture. Their consensus is unsettling, hopeful, and deeply instructive. The timeline of Earth's transformation without humans can be traced in days, years, and millennia. Each stage brings fresh changes, some swift, some slow. The fate of our cities, the animals that depended on us, and the legacies we leave behind all factor into this unfolding story. Our greatest works, both beautiful and destructive, will meet their fate. This essay draws from scientific insights and real-world examples. We will follow the timeline of collapse and recovery, seeing how nature steps in when people step out. Along the way, we'll ask what our absence reveals about our presence. Are we Earth's custodians or its disruptors? This exploration is more than just a thought experiment. It's a mirror held up to ourselves. By imagining a world without us, we learn what it truly means to be part of this planet. Within hours of human disappearance, the world's infrastructure begins its quiet collapse. Power plants, unstaffed, start to falter. Most electricity grids run on a delicate balance, requiring constant monitoring. Coal plants burn through their fuel, while nuclear plants initiate automatic shutdowns, plunging cities into darkness. Only hydroelectric dams continue, their turbines spinning until debris clogs their intakes. Pet dogs scratch at doors, mewling for owners who never return. Cows bellow in their stalls, while chickens cluster in darkened coops. Zoos and aquariums become eerie prisons. Some animals, like rats and cockroaches, thrive instantly, escaping enclosures and scavenging the emptied world. Others, especially exotics, face grim odds. Streetlights blink out and subway tunnels begin to flood without pumps to keep water at bay. In the absence of traffic, deer and coyotes wander onto highways. Fires break out in some places, unattended gas stoves ignite apartments, and lightning sparks forest blazes. With no fire brigades left, flames run unchecked, reshaping neighborhoods overnight. The first week is a period of chaos and liberation as domesticated animals face the wild and nature begins, tentatively, to reclaim what was lost. A year passes. Everywhere nature pushes back with vigor. Seeds sprout in gutter cracks, grass grows in sidewalk seams. Unpruned trees topple power lines, tangling them in a green net. Weeds scale skyscraper walls, their roots prying at mortar, while moss creeps over city statues, softening once sharp features. Wild animals reclaim their ancestral grounds. Wolves prowl villages in Eastern Europe. Boar root through Parisian parks. In New York, raccoons raid supermarkets, smashing windows to reach forgotten stockpiles. Some domesticated animals, feral cats, hardy dog breeds, adapt quickly, forming new packs and learning to hunt. Others, dependent on human care, perish or are preyed upon. Buildings begin to show their age. Roofs leak, wooden beams rot, and mold spreads unchecked in damp interiors. Without climate control, heat and cold stress glass and steel. Paint peels from walls and once gleaming surfaces dull beneath dust and lichen. Insects freed from pesticides flourish. Termites feast on abandoned timber. City streets are no longer silent. The wind carries the songs of birds and the cries of animals. Nature is no longer an intruder, it is the new master of the urban world. As decades pass, the marks of civilization continue to erode. Asphalt cracks as plant roots break through, making roads impassable. Bridges collapse into rivers, their supports weakened by rust and ice. Glass towers lose their windows. Wind and rain finish what time began. Skyscrapers shed panels, creating piles of debris at their bases. Forests expand, overtaking suburbs and swallowing city parks. Saplings grow into trees where playgrounds once stood. Insects and fungi accelerate the decomposition of wood, while vines strangle the remnants of fences and signs. The air smells fresher, filled with the scent of earth and growing things. Rivers, no longer dammed or diverted, reclaim old courses and flood low-lying neighborhoods. Animals adapt to the new wilderness. Some species once threatened by humans find new freedom. Wolves, bears, and big cats repopulate their former ranges. Birds nest in abandoned chimneys and rooftops. Meanwhile, less adaptable domestic species fade from the landscape, outcompeted by their wilder relatives. Human monuments persist, but their grip loosens. Rust, rot, and erosion claim what was built to last. The world is less ordered but more alive. Nature, given an opening, is relentless. A millennium has swept by. Most cities are lost beneath forest canopies or buried by sediment. Only the sturdiest structures endure. Stone monuments, pyramids, and select skyscrapers now skeletonized and draped in greenery. The Great Wall of China, the pyramids of Egypt, and Mount Rushmore still stand, but wind and rain wear away their details. Steel and iron have largely crumbled, oxidized by centuries of moisture. Concrete remains in places but cracks and collapses as tree roots invade. Subways and tunnels have flooded long ago, forming underground lakes. Roads and railways exist only as faint, grass-covered lines traced through the landscape. The animals that once depended on humans are gone or have evolved into wild variants. Wolves, bears, and large herbivores roam freely, following ancient migration paths. Birds fill the skies, nesting in the niches of ruined towers and cliffs. Ecosystems have stabilized into new patterns, richer and more diverse than before. Human artifacts become fossils, embedded in the earth. Our cities are myths, whispered in the bones of the world. Nature, patient and persistent, claims victory. 10,000 years pass. Almost all traces of humanity have vanished. Even our grandest works, dams, bridges, skyscrapers are gone, reduced to rubble buried in soil and sand. Only the most enduring materials, bronze, ceramics, some plastics, linger, scattered and unrecognizable. The radioactive signature of our age, from nuclear accidents and tests, remains detectable, a silent witness to our presence. Ecosystems have found new balance. Species we nearly drove to extinction, whales, rhinos, elephants, may return to old habitats if their genetic lines survived. New animals and plants evolve, filling niches left vacant by our absence. Nature's rhythms are restored, with predator and prey locked in ancient, graceful cycles. Some pollutants, particularly heavy metals and long-lived plastics, persist in the soil and oceans. Yet, as climatologists note, Earth's systems are remarkably resilient. Over geological timescales, even these scars will fade, diluted or buried, their dangers lessened by time and biology. In this world, the memory of humanity is written in the rocks, in the chemistry of the air, and in the genes of species shaped by us, and then freed from us. Ecologists see Earth's resilience as humbling. Dr. E.O. Wilson observed that, given time, nature recovers from even the greatest shocks. Engineers point out that our infrastructure, for all its might, is astonishingly fragile. Without maintenance, steel and concrete surrender quickly, says Dr. Henry Petrosky, an expert in structural failure. Climatologists warn, however, that some impacts, like greenhouse gases and plastic waste, linger for centuries or longer. Certain species would thrive in our absence. Rats, cockroaches, and pigeons would boom at first, but as cities crumble and food supplies vanish, their numbers would stabilize or decline. Wolves, bears, and other big mammals would reclaim lost ranges. Feral dogs might persist in some regions, but many breeds would not survive the transition to wildlife. Pollutants are our longest legacy. PCBs, dioxins, and microplastics remain in soil and water for millennia. Radioactive waste, entombed in spent fuel rods and underground repositories, will outlast our monuments, marking our age for any future intelligence to find. The lesson is clear. Our power is both creative and destructive. We shape the world, but it outlasts us. Our choices echo long after we are gone. Is Earth better off without us? The evidence suggests that in our absence, nature flourishes. Biodiversity increases, ecosystems heal, and the scars of industry slowly fade. Yet, this vision is sobering. Not a call for disappearance, but a challenge to live differently. Our legacy is not just pollution and ruin, but also art, knowledge, and moments of stewardship. We are both burden and blessing. Our hands can heal as well as harm. The story of a world without us is ultimately a lesson in humility and responsibility. It reminds us that we are merely one part of Earth's vast community, not its masters. Picture a future where cities are forests, rivers run clean, and the air is sweet. The world after us is peaceful, beautiful, and whole. But we need not vanish for this to happen. We can choose to live in better balance, protecting, preserving, and cherishing the world that made us. As we imagine Earth without humans, let us remember our power to shape the future. The planet will heal in our absence. The true challenge is to help it heal while we are still here.